It's happening again, guys. We have a tyre limit in Qatar. They cannot do the one stop that we expect from pretty much every Grand Prix nowadays. No, they have to do a maximum number of laps. We saw this a few years ago in Qatar in 2023, and the results were absolutely disastrous. Like, it is a miracle we didn't have a serious accident or even a fatality. It was that bad. Now, before I go stoking the flames, before you guys get in the comments, it was actually much warmer that time because it was in October. I know. It was partly because of the tyre thing, right? That was part of the reason, because they had to go through all those G-forces. It was relentless. All the drivers were pushing so hard. The biggest factor, of course, though, was the weather. I mean, 12 months ago in 2024, the drivers actually had coats on in the paddock, so it was cool by F1 standards, and I expect it to be the same again this weekend, and I am not expecting any major problems when it comes to the drivers passing out, throwing up in their helmets, those kinds of things, right? Because that race in 2023 was a farce, right? It really, really was, and thankfully, we're not going to see a repeat of that in a couple weekends' time, but we are going to see the tyre limit in. 25 laps is the maximum that these guys can do. And with some quick maths, I've worked out that means they have to do a 2-stop race, at least. So, let's have a look why this is, guys, because the Qatar Grand Prix circuit, the Lusail International Circuit, it's a rather unique one in Formula 1, and, thinking cynically, it's not really meant for Formula 1, quite literally. Let me explain why. Here on the F1Chronicle.com, as always. In Qatar, a limit will be introduced for the number of laps that each set of tyres can cover over the course of the whole race weekend. The decision, taken in agreement with the FIA and Formula 1 and discussed in regular meetings with the teams, is confirmed today by Pirelli through the usual technical document containing event-specific prescriptions sent out 2 weeks before each Grand Prix. Every set of tyres supplied to the teams at the start of the race weekend can cover a maximum of 25 laps of Lusail track, which is very demanding on tyres in terms of energy, thermal stress and wear. And guys, there are a few reasons for this, and this article may go into it, but there are two main reasons for this. The first one is the fact that this Formula 1 track is not actually meant for Formula 1. It was built in 2004 for MotoGP. We only had our first race in F1 around Qatar in 2021, and the track hadn't changed. It's designed for motorcycle racing. It's completely different to what Formula 1 tracks normally are, which makes it unique. That's not a bad thing, but essentially what that does mean is that the corners are very, very open. They are very quick. It is a really, really fast track. And the second reason, as far as I'm aware, unless they've changed the curbs this year, the curbs are extremely sharp. A whole host of drivers have had punctures here. It's not uncommon at all, and again, introducing this tyre limit, that does limit the risk of that. So those are the two main reasons, basically, guys. The other one sometimes is also the temperatures too, but given the fact we're running this one in late November, that's not really going to be an issue, I don't think. The laps will be counted cumulatively across all track sessions, including laps run under the safety car or virtual safety car. Laps to the grid and formation laps, and those completed after the checkered flag in the sprint and the Grand Prix, will not be included in that count. As the Qatar Grand Prix is run over 57 laps, each driver will inevitably have to change the tyres at least twice. Before the start of the Grand Prix, Pirelli will inform the teams how many laps are still available for each set. This measure has been deemed necessary following analysis of the tyres used in 2024. Last year, several tyres, particularly the left front, had reached the maximum wear level. These conditions, combined with the high lateral energy, had increased the structural fatigue of the construction. In order to reduce the number of pit stops, the teams had worked on tyre degradation management, limiting performance drop-off, which sometimes ran the risk of extending the stint beyond the useful life of the tyres. A similar precautionary measure had already been introduced at this track in 2023, although that was for different problems which are now resolved, like the ones I was mentioning before. They don't want to talk about how they nearly killed some of the drivers there. Not Pirelli, of course, Formula 1 with their organising the event, but I digress. Last year, the subsequent modification to the pyramid curbs, along with the addition of strips of gravel around them, had avoided a repetition of this situation. As previously announced, Qatar will utilise the hardest compounds in the Pirelli range, C1, C2 and C3. As this is a sprint weekend as well, each driver will be supplied with 2 sets of hard, 4 mediums and 6 softs. I mean, yeah, it's not ideal how you've got that limit in terms of the tyres and all that, but it does mean it forces the guys to do at least a 2-stop. It does mean there'll be a bit more strategy in there, I think, as well. And also, it'll allow the drivers to just go absolutely flat out 100%, just like the old days of F1, you know. The V10 people can very much come back and be like, yes, this is how we remember it, except it wasn't in Qatar now, was it? But you know what I mean. You know what I mean there. So yeah, honestly, I think from a pure racing point of view, I think it's actually good. I wouldn't like to see this every weekend. No, I would not. And, you know, the cynics will say, and you guys know I like to be a cynic when it comes to this sort of stuff, they'll say that this track is not suited to Formula 1, and that is true. It is not suited to Formula 1. But ask yourself this, right? Would you rather the Lusail International Circuit be the host of the Qatar Grand Prix, or would you rather it be a Doha street circuit like was rumoured? I know which one I'd rather have. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather have neither of them on the calendar, but that is a story and a debate and a rant for a different day. Don't worry, I've already spoken about that a few times, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, your thoughts on this in the comments below, guys. Personally, I think it'll shake things up. It'll catch the teams out a little bit. Some people are going to make mistakes. Some people are really going to strike lucky on this. And we'll see in a few weeks' time. Like, share, comment, subscribe. As always, guys, have a fantastic day wherever you're on the world today. And we'll see you very soon.